Hello everyone and welcome to Azam Sharp YouTube channel. First of all, happy WWDC 2024. Now, at WWDC, Apple is releasing a lot of different things. I'm going to talk about a really important thing that Apple released for SwiftData, which is called Previewable. But before we do that, let me go ahead and show you my current application. Now, you may have already seen this application. This is the Reminders application clone that I'm working on. But we're going to take the same example because this is a real application that I'm building and it's available on YouTube. You can subscribe to the playlist and check out all the videos. I'm still making some of the videos, but you can definitely check it out. Now, looking at this view, this is called the Reminder List view. The first thing you will notice is that it's a view, but we don't really have any preview for it, like the Xcode preview. Okay, well, that's because I'm not really using the macros to create the preview. So let's go ahead and create a preview. Okay, now the preview portion is open on the right-hand side at least. That's good. I can go ahead and say Reminder List view, but the Reminder List view depends on passing the reminders. Well, I do have reminders in my preview container, and that is only used for previews, but how can I pass those things over here? The reminders are going to be passed by using the query property wrapper or the query macro, like this one, query. All right. So if you look at the query over here, and I can say private var reminders, which is going to give you reminder, and I can pass in the reminders. Well, that's not really going to work like that. Okay, it kind of kills it. It doesn't really work like this. So how can we make sure that we are able to get the reminders from our in-memory database, because it's only for the previews, and pass it to the reminder list view so we can at least see the reminder list view. Now, keep in mind that, let me go ahead and first pass something over there so we can at least see some sort of a preview. We can see the preview, but there's nothing there. Now, some of the property wrappers that I'll be using only work in iOS 18. So you can see that I'm now saying that this is iOS 18. And also, if you look at the Xcode, I'm using Xcode 16 beta. But before showing you the small things, meaning the new things, how would you do that? If you had this code and you want to get the previews working, how would you even do that without using the new features of iOS 18? Well, one of the things that we can do that is we can create another view. We can say reminder list view container, which is simply a view, which means it will have a body. And these kind of views are usually known as a container views because they contain other views. And this view, which is a reminder list view container, which is only used for the previews, is going to render the reminder list view. This means that I can go over here and I can start using the query over here. Private var reminders, which is going to give us a reminder array, and then we can simply pass in the reminders. Now, instead of previewing the reminder list view, I can go ahead and say reminder list. Well, I can go ahead and say reminder list view container, I guess. Reminder list view container. And we can also give the container access to the preview container. The preview container is async, so we will have to do a main actor in, and there we go. So now we can see that it works. Basically, we had to create this wrapper, the reminder list view container, and the reminder list view container was able to get the reminders from the in-memory database, and then simply pass a reminder to the reminder list view so that we can see the reminder list view. And we are able to see the reminder list view. Great. But that is definitely a lot of code to type, and we had to create this extra container view for this to work. Now, in iOS 18 and Xcode 16, you can use something called a previewable. And what previewable does, it allows you to pass in the state-oriented variables right from the preview. So the way that you will use it, but it's not really going to work like that. I mean, we still have to do something, but the way it's going to work is that we are going to create a preview, and in the traits, we're just going to pass in the sample data. Now, right now, we don't really have sample data, so I'm just going to say sample data over here. Some sort of a sample data we're going to be passing in. Next, of course, you can see I'm commenting this out because we still need to work on it. I'm just going to say sample data like this. And then we can use the previewable. We'll see that it is going to show up right there, previewable. And we can use query. Now we can use the query right in there. So we don't really have to do anything. I mean, that's kind of crazy that we can just use previewable right in there. And then we can simply say reminder, list view, and passing in the reminders. Pretty cool, right? Now, previewable is not only for query. If you look at their documentation, and if it shows up, actually, I might have to comment this out because there's a lot of errors. We don't really have a lot of stuff that we're trying to do. It's not really built in. Here we go. Okay, so if you look at the previewable documentation, you can see that you can preview anything with a state. Right over here, what the code that they're showing is for the toggle, right? And toggle depends on, there we go, toggle depends on the state variable. So this is what they're doing. They're saying previewable state. So you can use state directly inside the preview. That's actually pretty cool. And this is what it will create. So that's pretty cool that you can do that, but you can do that for query also, for SwiftData. But for SwiftData, how will it work? Well, we need to provide the sample data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my preview container. And don't worry about all of this code because this is the old code that I was using. I mean, you know, Xcode 16 is still in beta, so I'll still be using this code. But in the new one, what we can do is we can create another struct, and we can say, and this, all of this code that I'm about to write, this is directly from the actual, you know, the code samples provided by Apple, using my own data, but they're structured. Okay, so I'm creating a sample data reminders, and you can call it sample data just because I already have the sample data, so that's why I'm calling it sample data reminders. And we are conforming to preview modifier. Now, the way that you conform to the preview modifier is you create a function called make shared context. It's not really an async function, and it is going to return you the model container. So the whole job of this make shared context is to create a shared container. And since we are only using this for the preview, we can create the shared container right in the memory. So this is what we're doing. We're just saying right in the memory. Now I can go ahead and run a loop. I can create my list, I can create my reminders, and I can return the container. So there we go. I can go through my sample data, I can create a list, and I can create some reminders, and I can return the container. The final thing that we want to do is we want this to be for the preview modifiers. Since it's a modifier, we were going to attach it to the content itself. So all of these preview modifiers will have this stuff. All right. Okay. And the final thing we want to do is we can also extend the preview traits, and we can add another property over here, a static property called sample data, which is simply going to give us access to all the sample data. So let's go back and now see how we can use it. So I'm going to go to the reminder list view, and let's go ahead and uncomment this, and now hopefully it will just work. Let's see. Okay, let's not do the private part over here. We're just going to remove that part. And I'm also going to comment out the old way of doing previews. All right. So it's saying cannot find reminders. I think I'm missing a var over here. There we go. And let's wait it for refresh, and there we go. We're able to refresh it, and we can see that it works exactly the same. So this means that we don't really have to create our container view. Pretty cool, right? I mean, this actually reduces a lot of code, not only for SwiftData applications, because as I have shown you that this is for any kind of a state, and you can again see the documentation. Tagging a variable declaration at root scope with a preview allows you to do dynamic in the previews and all of that stuff, and basically you are able to use a state over here, and that's only also true for query property wrapper. I think if you're using core data, you can also do these things. All right. So this is one of the really cool features, because now I can eliminate a lot of code from my application where I was creating the container views. So that can, and less code is always good, right? So check it out. It's available in iOS 18 and Xcode 16. It's still in beta. So I wouldn't expect you to see these things in the YouTube videos, like for the one that I'm creating for the reminder clone application, because that is still targeting iOS 17 point something. So, but definitely play around with it. I think it's pretty cool. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. If you like this video and want to support my channel, then the best way would be to check out azamsharp.school. Azamsharp.school hosts one of the largest catalogs for iOS development videos. You can click on courses to check out all of my courses. You have available course for the Swift UI architecture. Now, this is one of the best courses out there. This is created after 3 or more than 3 years of research on Swift UI framework. And one thing you will notice is now in the community, everyone is moving towards the built-in architecture. After trying many different architectures, people decided that the built-in architecture, which is already in Swift UI, is the best one. And this course is all about that. So you can see you can do a migrating from MVVM to MV, understanding aggregate models, Swift UI views, validation, navigation, and a huge section on testing. So this course is available for you. And apart from these courses, I also host the workshops. So you can click on the workshops. And you can see the Swift Data Fundamentals workshop coming up on June 22nd. And it's available. This is a 3-hour workshop, and it is live on Zoom. So definitely enroll in that. It's going to be, you're going to save so much time by just enrolling and accessing and entering in this workshop, because it's going to take you so much time to find those things on your own. So I'm just going to show you all of those things: testing, relationship, CloudKit integration. I mean, that takes a lot of time for you to figure out, but I'm going to show you all of these things. All right. So check out azamsharp.school, and thank you so much.